is intended for mature audiences only. The opinions expressed by the hosts and audience members are their own and are not connected to or reviewed in advance by Warehouse38.tv. Any issues arising from this webcast or its contents should be directed to the individual commentators. Warehouse38.tv is not responsible for the veracity of any of the following content.
Modern Pagan TV is dedicated to education about modern pagan religions and is committed to the protection, welfare, and guardianship of the rights of all people to worship as their hearts and minds dictate. Modern Pagan TV considers education of the non-pagan public and of our own world community about pagan religions to be of paramount importance and encourages open dialogue across all platforms with the understanding that all voices have an equal right to be heard. Modern Pagan TV encourages participation in multiple spiritual events as the tradition and the individual deems appropriate and maintains that courtesy and open-mindedness and not denigration are paramount to any discussion. So sit back or join in. Modern Pagan TV is streaming live.
The pitch got higher, all the drums went out to the edge, and it got higher, and it got loud, and the girls were out screaming, and
welcome to the show. I'm Laura McKenzie.
I'm Phil Catalano.
And
I'm Kat Lundgren.
Yeah, our very own astrologer is here to do us live tonight. Lots of fun things going on.
Absolutely.
I know. I've got paper here to take notes in case there's a quiz afterwards. I don't know. So, welcome. This is our 22nd show. Cool, huh? I love it. Yeah, it's fun. And we have people in the chat room. It's cool. So hopefully they'll find lots of things to chat about tonight because we have some really cool stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a concert. Yeah, I always love it when we have a concert. Yeah. So, all right, Kat, are you ready?
I am.
Tell us what's going on and all this strange and weird and
it's always something.
I know. Is it going to get better?
It always gets better. It's just our attitude.
Yeah.
It's our attitude about it, really.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
So.
Yeah, but it's going to get better.
Perspective is everything, you know?
Okay. All right. Here's the perspective.
I'm
getting better.
I'm going to give you a perspective adjustment.
Let's do it. All right. I need that. Let's do it.
Okay. So, for the astrology segment, hello, my name is Kat Lundgren. I'd like to thank you for joining us for another episode of Modern Pagan TV's Flying Through the Skies, A Witch's View of the Cosmos. So, this week began on Monday, June 18th. And all times I discuss are Mountain Daylight Times. We start this week off with the moon in Gemini as we prepare for the dark moon to crest on Tuesday, June 19th at 9:02 a.m. as it begins a void of course. The moon moves into Cancer, joining the sun for this Litha holiday, lending a lunar-solar balance to our season. As the moon moves from a mercurial air sign to a feeling water sign, our attentions will turn towards our home and our families. We have 3 void of course moons this week, and we start with the first one on Tuesday, June 19th at 9:02 a.m. as the moon leaves Gemini and enters Cancer at 11:34 a.m. the same day. The second void of course moon occurs on Thursday, June 21st at 10:48 a.m. as the moon leaves Cancer and moves into Leo at 9:47 p.m. that same day. The last void of course moon begins on Saturday, June 23rd at 4:26 p.m. as the moon exits Leo and plans to enter Virgo at 5:42 a.m. on Sunday, June 24th. Turning towards the sun. The sun finishes up its journey through Gemini at the beginning of this week. On Wednesday, the sun enters Cancer at 5:09 p.m. to mark the Litha Midsummer holiday. This longest day of the year marks the cresting point of summer, and our attentions turn towards improvements to our home environment. We have several planets in retrograde or getting ready to retrograde during this week. Now remember, the retrograde asks us to turn this force inward and begin that loving conversation with ourselves. We start off with Venus. It remains retrograde in Gemini during this week, blending flirtatious energy to our communications. Venus will be turning direct on Wednesday, June 27th. Saturn remains retrograde in Libra until Monday, June 25th at 2 a.m. when it turns direct. Saturn in Libra asks us to find that balance in our life, and in particular, relationships. It asks us to look at our level of responsibility to and in relationships. Again, this is the conversation for the self, as we have an opportunity for gaining wisdom in our roles in relationship to others. Neptune remains retrograde in Pisces, adding extra fuel to our dream time. With the 12th house involvement, Neptune can delude us into not seeing what is really there. With a retrograde, that means not seeing those things about ourselves or being in denial about our self-damaging behaviors and actions. Pluto remains retrograde in Capricorn until September. Pluto retrograding through an earth sign addresses structure and security issues. Capricorn's focus is on career and reputation. So this Pluto retrograde serves to tear down structures which no longer serve us. This can relate to our careers or even beliefs we have about ourselves. Remember, the argument whether to leave or go elsewhere is internal. This wisdom in this placement is to create a space that allows you to address what you love and what ticks you off about your current career or what you are known as, and refine it. Chiron is not a planet, but has profound influence in our charts and lives when addressing healing old wounds that we have borne for lifetimes. Such a fitting placement for Chiron in Pisces as it addresses the 12th house issues during this retrograde. Chiron, as the wounded healer, brings the blessings to be able to address stagnant karmic issues that have been stirred up and finally release our past pain and injury. This retrograde began on June 12th. Meditation and journey work as a tool for discovering during this retrograde would be most helpful. Remember, during retrogrades, we're all going through these together. Not to mention that other interesting aspects are triggered in our natal charts. So be kind to each other and try not to vomit your internal crap all over each other, as they will not be thanking you. For the moon howlers and night sky watchers, here is where you find the planets this week. Mercury is in Cancer until June 25th when he enters Leo at 8:24 a.m. Mercury turns retrograde on July 15th and will remain retrograde until August 8th. Venus is retrograde in Gemini until June 27th when she turns direct. Mars in Virgo until July 4th when he enters Libra. Jupiter is in Gemini, Saturn retrograde in Libra, and on June 25th turns direct. Uranus in Aries turns retrograde on Friday, July 13th, Neptune retrograde in Pisces until November 10th, and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn until September 18th. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Flying Through the Skies, a Witch's View of the Cosmos.
So, I was taking mental notes. So, moon, void.
Of course.
Is that like, of course?
No. It means don't.
Of course.
Of course.
What does that mean?
It
Because I don't
means,
know what that means.
it means when a moon goes void of course, it's moving from one sign to another sign. And there's a brief
okay.
little period of time where
it's not anywhere?
Not anywhere,
Oh.
actually. It's like in between. It's in limbo. And as it gets ready to exit one side and move into another sign, these are prime. There, you can do magic during void of course moon, but there's very particular magic that you can do. But typically, what happens is that you're in this limbo space, and so therefore, magic. If you're working with moon and doing moon magic, because it's not in a sign, you can't assign those energies of that sign to whatever you're doing. But there is magic that you can do during void of course moons, but it's for the adept, I would say.
Okay. So, obviously, people want to know more about astrology. I mean, not obviously, but obviously, and so you teach
I do
astrology.
teach. I do teach classes.
And how do they find you?
Well, it's tough.
Aside from here, where would they?
Well, they can email me at cat@templeofthemoon.org. If they're interested in classes. I'm getting ready to set up another series for next year. I have a beginning intermediate class that runs 5 sessions.
Okay, beginning
slash intermediate. It's kind of taking you from beginning through intermediate level.
Okay.
And they're all-day sessions. There's 5 all-day I know. I feel that way too. They're all-day sessions, and there's 5 in that series. And by the time that you're done, you should be able to construct a horoscope and definitely be able to translate it for yourself.
And using the book, not using a computer program?
I was going to ask about a computer
using
program.
People should be able to draw their own horoscopes up from
Yes.
scratch without a computer
I
program.
like that too.
Okay. Woo! All right. Well, I guess they'll be
think the
learning how to do
computers-
that.
I taught my child that when she was very, very young. I think everybody
Okay.
should be able to do
All
it. Yeah.
Okay. So
We
using
need
the
to
books.
revisit a lot of our practical skills.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Or we forget.
might be losing our computers and power grids
Yeah,
sometime.
who knows?
Yeah, and anybody should be able to do that. You've got your charts, you've got your ephemeris. You should be able to be able to draw a chart. You can draw a mundane horoscope based on relocation or event or anything, and it will tell you many things about that.
Okay, and
It's
so-
very-
It's a very consistent science. It goes back many, many years.
It does.
And it tracks with the universe's movements and cycles, as well as the galactic cycles, and of course our solar system.
yeah, if we're going to talk
The
about
whole thing ties together.
Mayan calendars, we're going to talk about any of this stuff
Ends of worlds
being plugged into the awareness of the planetary cycles and what they mean to us. I mean, think of us as we're human beings. We live on this earth, and the moon cycles is 28 days. I mean, that's so plugged into a woman's cycle. I mean, so we really are plugged into planetary cycles.
What about other cultures? Is there any specific differences between Chinese and Celtic or African or Mayan?
There are stories on the spirituality is rooted in all of this from them, and lots of god forms are related to that, and there's star stories. In First Nations, as above, so below. You have the map of the stars as things go through the canyon. There's stories about star people. There's stories, and the same thing is true, in Mayan culture. The same thing is true in the Celtic spiritual traditions. We get disconnected from our earliest stories. We get disconnected from our early myths, and in so doing, we try to explain them logically, and we lose a lot.
Yeah.
We lose the mystery
But
and the magic.
every culture has started watching the stars and star patterns and cycles since the beginning of time.
Absolutely, they did.
It's part of their tradition and culture.
We have a question from the audience.
Okay.
Question is,
What type of classes for astrology? Is it predictive astrology?
You can do predictive astrology. What I do is I start you out with learning the basics of astrology. And most of the people that come to my class think that they know astrology
Until they get to Cat's class.
until they get into the class, and when they find out that they aren't understanding the core concepts. Once you understand the planetary movement, the astrological signs, I talk about karmic astrology and certain planets that are involved with karma. Then you can literally do predictive astrology if you can do astrology.
So
But
that's
you have
not
to start somewhere.
It's not
Yeah,
specifically your content.
That would be an advanced class.
Okay,
Which
and you're
I
going to
do
that
those,
too. Yeah,
yeah.
you do
Mhm.
those.
Mhm.
All right, so why don't you give your website again so people know how to
It
find
is,
you?
go to Cat at Temple of the Moon. That's my email address, cat at templeofthemoon.org. If you are interested in signing up for classes,
Cool.
and I will give you my list of classes that are coming up.
All right.
2013.
Wow. All right. Woo! Because see, that just told us something right there. We're all going to be here in 2013. So that was exciting. That was, you heard it here first. Kat said we were going to be here. So there you go. All right. So good. All right. Time for timely tips. So I'm probably one of the Americans that refuse to use Google as a search engine. Do you know why I do that?
Google, have you used that?
No, I don't use Google. I don't use Google either. And here's why I don't like Google. I actually, for lots of reasons, but one of them is because they collect user data. Every time you sign on, they collect user data about you. So they think they know who you are, where you are, when you are, what you are, and they sell that information. They sell it to advertisers so that the next time you sign on, you get the little sidebars and everything about, which, but here's actually a more important reason, and that is that governments are now requiring Google to censor the internet. And last Sunday on their website, their vice president had a blog, and this is one of the things that she said. It is alarming not only because free expression is at risk, but because some of these requests come from countries you might not suspect. Western democracies, and I, of course, would editorialize that, Western so-called, but democracies not typically associated with censorship. Now, who do you think she's talking about? Hello? And in case you were wondering, she goes on to tell you.
Canada.
Canada is not on the list. Canada is not on the list. South of Canada is on the list. Yeah, very, very south. That in the U.S. submitted 187 requests to remove content just from July through December of last year.
You know what's more scary about this than anything?
What?
They don't even have to tell you. They just do it.
She goes on to talk about that.
They will just censor it the way they want, not even make it public that they did so.
Only Brazil's government, Brazil, okay, submitted more content removal requests, 194 during the first half of this last year. And then they went on to say that in the U.S. request, they included 117 court-ordered requests to remove content. And they replied with, Google actually responded by to 25%. So it wasn't 100%. So they didn't cave in or sell out 100% of the time, just mostly. And then they wound up partially complying with another 42%, as opposed to 54% for Brazil. Yeah. And then there were 4 countries, Bolivia, the Czech Republic, Jordan, and the Ukraine, asked Google to remove content for the first time last year. So,
is there any mention of what China does or
actually,
is doing?
Funny you should mention that, because this next sentence right here. Google's censorship request doesn't include China and Iran because those countries deploy filters that block content that their government has already deemed objectionable. So,
That's right.
so it doesn't even get through the filters for the government to ask Google to remove it. It doesn't even get there.
Right. The Chinese government, from what I remember reading a few years ago, has established that if Google wanted to do business in China, this was the restrictions.
Right, absolutely.
We have a question?
Yeah.
What kind of content is being removed as a rule?
The problem is that the Google site didn't blog about the kind of content, unfortunately. One last thing that they said was that the government filed 6,321 requests for Google user data
Wow.
in just 6 months. So in just 6 months, and that was an increase in 6% over last year, and they complied with giving them your user data 93% of the time. So much for
Quite
the First
disappointing
Amendment.
to see it
And
go
speaking
that
of the First
direction.
Amendment, I'm going to exercise my First Amendment rights right now. Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Do I have a close-up camera?
Can we get
Do I have a close-up camera? Here's my close-up camera. I just downloaded this. Which one?
camera 2.
2. All right. 2. There we go. You probably can't see it very clearly. I just downloaded this today. This is the revisions to the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. I have to take it away because I have to read it.
Okay.
All right, here we go. It says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the citizens United States of America and to the global corporations for which it stands, one nation under their thumb with liberty and justice for the wealthy. Oh, all right. So you saw it here first. All right. So.
I'm sorry you're on the hit list.
Oh, honey, I've been on the hit list for so long. Oh, the FDA.
Here goes that Google information
Yeah.
right now. I can see the
This show is no longer
This is the
listed
type
on
of
Google,
content.
unfortunately. You
Taken
can't
off.
find it, so this
Oh, well, did it really get removed? Did we get removed? Oh, he's just,
This is the kind of content that we're talking about.
yeah, getting removed. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have some content that might get removed too, so tell us about that, Phil.
I feel like a target sitting between the two of you.
Kat made me do it! It was her idea!
You want me to start talking about the
Yeah,
science
just go for
organization?
it. Yeah, there's a fun thing starting tomorrow. Up
Starting
in Boulder,
tomorrow
of
up in
course.
Boulder,
Of
there's the
course.
Society for Scientific Exploration that's having its annual meeting.
They're looking for oil and natural gas, right?
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry, okay.
This society has been around for 31 years. This is the 31st annual meeting. It's a conference of scientists of the highest caliber. You have to be a PhD or a doctorate, MD, and so forth, to be a full member. And the associate members are any of the others who want to join and participate. There's about 5,000 members worldwide. And I think there's only going to be a couple of hundred at the Boulder conference this year. Last year was a little bit more than 200, and the year before more than that. But the conference is held with all of the scientists making presentations of their theories and their, I guess I describe it as like an ivory tower professionals. These are college professors and researchers who have an opportunity to do research and publish in this organization.
That Monsanto's not paying for?
No, and no, they are not.
Just
They're not even invited.
checking.
They're not invited.
Okay, good.
And so they present these papers and they get published, and
Yeah.
this is a wide audience, and it raises the caliber of all areas of metaphysics and paranormal, UFO research, remote viewing, and magic in a lot of ways to the high caliber of research.
So it takes it out of voodoo and witchcraft, darn it?
Absolutely,
Darn,
absolutely.
darn, I kind
And
of liked it
and
there.
it presents actual theoretical work that's been
Right,
studied, published with
Right.
references and so forth.
right.
It's a good crowd of people, and it's got a wide variety of.
So
subject
anybody
matter.
could go though, right? They don't
Anybody
have to be a
can
member.
attend.
And it starts tomorrow.
Starts tomorrow. Well, the conference starts tomorrow.
Right.
The membership has activities going on all year long,
Right.
and I think the headquarters is in Michigan. But this year and last year and the year before, and 2 years before that, it was held in Boulder because we have such a wide audience and very diverse people in this area. So, and I'm working on the registration committee, and so I'm involved in that.
So people could come and see you and get registered?
Yes,
And-
you can
and
come up to the
starts at what,
the
6 tomorrow,
Millennium
right?
Hotel.
Right.
Receptions and
Right off of
registration.
36.
Right.
Yeah?
Reception starts at 7 o'clock. Registration at the tables out there will start at about 6 and run to about 8 or 9, maybe 10.
Okay.
And then Thursday morning, it starts off the conference at 8 o'clock. Again, registration about 7:30. And there'll be people coming to the table and registering, and of course, all the people who pre-registered. And we have badges and
Right.
the
How much
full-
does this cost?
Well, it's $300 for non-members.
Okay.
And I think it's like $275 or $265 for members.
And that's for how many
It's
days?
for 4 days.
4 days. Okay.
Wednesday night, Wednesday evening, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Saturday night, there's a banquet.
Okay, and that is included?
No, the banquet's
Okay.
extra.
Okay. But there's a keynote address that would probably
There's
be
a
pretty
keynote
cool.
address
Yeah.
every day, and of course at the banquet as well. The president speaks typically.
Okay. And so all of these PhDs are going to be presenting their stuff, and sometimes is it like a lot of conferences where there's too many to choose at one time because
No,
more
this
things-
is a single event each time. So
Oh, wow.
there's scheduled activities
Okay.
with breaks in between, and so you can attend the conference and
Okay.
see and listen to everyone. And they have video and audio copying of everything,
Right,
so you can get the DVDs
Right.
within 20 minutes of the presentation.
And what's the website again?
It is Society for Scientific Exploration.org.
All one word. All one word. Okay.
.org.
All right.
Right.
Cool.
Now, in addition to that, there is a spin-off organization called the World Institute for Scientific Exploration, which is more involved in the research, development, and applications of some of this technology. It's more of the doing end of it. So there's an awful lot of activities that are going to be involved in demonstrations and physical
Oh,
activities.
cool.
So
I love
that's,
demonstrations.
we just spun off that
Yeah.
organization
Yeah.
from the SSC, the mother organization, and I'm a deputy director of this WISE organization, and we're going to get very involved in starting our own conference here in Boulder next year for the applications type activities. I'm
And
looking
a lot
forward
of
to
people,
that.
I'm going to guess that a lot of people are going to be more interested.
In the applications, the doing part of it.
Yeah.
Not just listening to the theory, the ivory tower stories and presentations, which is valuable.
Right, yeah,
But
absolutely.
the parts that we can handle and touch and see, watch and demonstrate some of the devices.
So now
That's
that
gonna
you know
count.
how this works, show me how to do this.
Yes. Now
Yeah.
this, watch it, do this.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
that's where we're going.
Cool.
Exciting.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Because now is the time. We know that there's been so much suppression of technical
Oh, you
data.
think? Oh, come
and
on.
so
No,
much
it's
of it
open.
is
It's all over the
threatening
internet.
to the powers that be and to
Uh-huh.
the oil industry
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
other areas. And now is the time. And it's been coming out for a while.
Yeah.
But it's now becoming a force to be reckoned with. And it's like the 100th monkey. So we're starting to see more and more people getting involved and doing these kinds of things. China is in the World Institute of Scientific Exploration, WISE. They are involved in getting a device that uses chi energy for healing. And they're actually converting the energy in a device that physically uses the energy.
And when is that going to be
Not
available?
just in the old stories of wise
yeah,
men
yeah,
and so
yeah.
forth, where you worked with a healer.
Yeah.
These are devices that are going to be on the market.
When?
They're working on it. So this is the applications part of it.
And where do I sign up to get one of the first prototypes? I'll beta test. I'll beta test.
So are a lot of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Stay in touch with me.
All
because
right.
I'm one of the directors.
Okay.
Deputy director.
All right.
And so I'll know quite a bit about how it moves forward.
Yeah, cool.
That's great.
And that is so cool. I mean, chi, if you've never gotten to experience that, woo, that'll kick your butt.
Yeah, and then we'll start working with other energies, and
Yeah.
the Kundalini and all
All
the
the subtle
other
energies.
types of subtle energies. And we're talking about bringing
Zero-point
ancient
field
wisdom,
and-
ancient wisdom knowledge that's been around for thousands of years into the current technology systems that we have around us. And that's where I'll start to spin off into my segment on magic and mystery. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the ancient knowledge that is now getting incorporated into systems and subsystems that are starting to draw this. It's nothing of free energy. There is no free energy.
No
it is
free
a
lunch either.
conversion of energies, the chi energy, and we're taking it, and there are designs within nature. Everything falls within nature.
Right.
There is nothing woo-woo. There is nothing magical.
Oh,
Well,
Phil.
It's magical only
is
by
magical.
interpretation,
Okay.
because it's the science of nature that we're learning to use, and our interpretations is, wow, that's magic.
Right.
But the reality is it's using natural designs of nature. As an example, the tree of life and the flower of life is a circuit. It is an electrical circuit. And if you put components and arrange them, and I don't know all the different types of components, but this is where the scientists come in, and the electrical engineers and mechanical engineers and chemists and so forth. They find ways and means of arranging components in a phi ratio design, in the Fibonacci circle and
Right, right.
spiral, in such a way as it draws the energy, or it takes the energy from the ether and converts it and uses it in electrical circuits, making them more efficient, making them run cooler. There's a whole series of work that's being done all over the world using natural phenomena and ancient Tesla technologies, and he drew on information from his older
Right,
scientists and some of the alchemists and some of the wizards of their time. So there's an awful lot that's coming, something to look forward to.
think it's
These science
legitimizing.
organizations are the ones that are help making it known to the world.
Well, it's making something that seems untouchable, things that we know and we work with for a really long time. It brings it more mainstream when somebody else can see it or touch it, because they can't believe the same things that maybe we believe about how things work, or trust in that mystery of it, of how things work. So
And quantum physics is a good example of bridging that gap.
Right.
Before we started talking actively about quantum theories and quantum activities, take like entanglement. That says when two things come together and then are separated, they interact with each other forever.
Yeah.
Instantaneously. They took two spacecraft components, kept one on Earth, sent one out into deep space, and then they would tweak one, and the other one would tweak exactly the same.
Was ever tweaking me, it better stop. That's all I have to say about that.
This is an electrical tweak.
Oh,
Although that
okay.
could have been the case as well.
Well, that's next week's show.
So what's next week's show,
Sex
Laura?
toys! And we have a band, Sex Toys and Rock and Roll. I mean, is that a show or what? Yeah, okay, sorry.
So quantum theories are
Zero
starting
point
to,
field, yeah, I get that.
starting to show all these things,
Yeah.
and we're actively starting to design in accordance to nature. And when we do, we're starting to see more results that we know we need. Things are changing. The New World Order, or the powers that be, are coming down. There's less resistance against all of the things that are starting to be talked about. There's probably less censoring of material than you would think. Although it's pretty popular, there is still an awful lot that's getting out there. And as much as gets out there, that 100th monkey effect starts to bring it up all over the world. So it's encouraging to know that things are changing for the better.
Yeah. So things are changing. We'll be here in 13. So those are two big,
And
important
14 and 15
Yeah.
and 16.
Two big, important pieces of information from the show tonight. All right, so really cool. So we have a fun guest tonight who's been on the show before, who's actually going to be bringing his own chair on, because I forgot to set that up. And you're going to swing this way, you're going to swing this way. And we have Mark Silver and Heartbeat tonight. But Mark is going to come on, first of all, and talk about Pan. And we don't actually mean the god Pan. We're actually talking here about the pagan
Artistic network.
So scoot on in here with the rest of us, and welcome Mark Silver. Yay! So Mark, tell us about Pan.
The Pagan Artistic Network actually came to mind when I was writing my book, and I was thinking of self-publishing. The most important thing you need to do in self-publishing is figure out how to market it.
Absolutely.
And the first thing that came to mind was, well, if I had a network of friends or people across the United States who are also writers, then I could send my book out to, say, New York, and they would market my book there, and they could send their book to me, and I could market my book here at the stores that I already selling in the Denver area. And then I got involved with Heartbeat, and I figured, well, you can do the same thing with music that is independently produced. Artists and filmmakers as well. Yeah. So my big idea for this is that all of these artists and authors and filmmakers and musicians would have their own forums, and they could talk back and forth and say, hey, you know, I have this available, or this may be the best way to market this on social media. We can have a listing of metaphysical bookstores, or stores that would carry our CDs, etc.
Or if you were a filmmaker and you were looking for a specific talent, say a specific kind of band, or
Correct. Yeah.
then that would be a good place to find those resources.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and what I'm looking at is there'll be 4 forums that are specific to each of the genres, and then a general one where they can cross-connect and cross-promote ideas.
So how does somebody, I mean, obviously we have your website and everything like that, but how would somebody find you and join you?
Right now, the paganartistic.net is up. The website is up. The forums are not up. I am in the process of working with my webmaster to fill in resources such as metaphysical stores, etc. There are a couple of sites out there that accept independent music, and you just submit it to them and they'll accept it. However, I ran out of money before I got to the forums.
We know all about that.
So that's
Everybody knows about that.
That's the big thing right now. If I knew someone who actually did do forums, did do coding.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh,
there you are.
yes,
yeah,
that is
you're
it.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's my site. I love that.
I know. See?
All the little things, and the Pagan Artistic Network logo actually came from a friend of mine who is a graphic artist, and she's donating the logos that I'm using, and the logo for Heartbeat, as a matter of fact.
I love the one from Heartbeat.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
yeah, she did a good job.
What's not to love?
Yeah. But those are all, they were donated to me in exchange for classes. So,
There you go.
in exchange for doing some teaching.
Barter work is a lovely thing.
It is, it's awesome. And that's what I was saying. If I could find a coder who could actually put together that type of foreign network or forum software that I could put on the site, that would be wonderful. And we could work out some kind of exchange. I'm pretty good at that. So.
And we have the website for your book also, so you want to mention that.
Well, you can go on to marksilver.com, which is Mark, M-A-R-C,
C, yes.
S-Y-L-V-I-R.
Right.
Silver as in Old
Yeah.
English silver.
Right.
.com, and that has links to the various sites that are carrying the book currently. 9 or 10, I think, but not all of those are linked on there yet.
Right.
So,
right. No, there were a couple links that didn't work for me.
Yeah, there's also, we're selling on Gordon's, which is England's version of Amazon, which is pretty cool. I haven't had any sales from there, but that'll be pretty neat when I can say
Yet.
Yes. Then I can say I'm international.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, this is interglobal or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's really cool too.
Yeah.
Okay. So-
Another thing that we're going to be doing with the books, as a matter of fact, I had posted it on the Living Earth site. I had also posted it on Facebook. Right now I have about 40 books on hand in my apartment, And I'm willing to sell those for $10 a piece, which normally the book is $12.95
Right.
for the
Right.
hard copy book.
Right.
That is, the ebook is actually $5.95. But I'm willing to sell those for $10 a piece and donate $5 of each sale to the Living Earth Center to help them
Yeah.
with the expenses that they're having when they
Yes.
have to figure out where to move to,
Right,
et
the
cetera.
community center. I know. It was so beautiful having it there.
Yeah.
We just have to put some positive energy, and maybe the donations from the sale of your book will take that over the edge and get everything going there. That would be wonderful.
That would
Yeah,
be
thank
nice.
you so
yeah.
much for doing that.
Yeah,
Mark.
Wendy
That's
Rule
beautiful.
will be there Saturday,
Yes, absolutely.
and it's a great space. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
nice, cozy
It is.
concert space.
It is. It's
Yes.
wonderful. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go to commercial, and then we're going to actually open up with Heartbeat Tribal Rock. Yo!
I'm chasing twisters down avenue.
You're watching Modern Pagan TV. If you'd be interested in advertising on our program or becoming a sponsor, please email info@modernpagan.tv. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Same communication to your unspoken lies. You can't break my heart.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
Been doing like I taught you. Love the new tattoo, Sarah.
Dude, that's Sarah. The girl in the pink shirt. That's the girl I was telling you about.
Theater 2 on your left. Hey, Sarah. What color underwear today?
Hey, Sarah. So when are you going to post something new?
Anything you post online, anyone can see. So think before you post.
Hi, I'm an atheist.
And I'm a Christian. What are you reading over there?
Oh, Harry Potter. It's good stuff.
Oh, we don't like that. That's not good.
Well, why not?
Well, it's got all that violence and stuff in it. People die. We can't have this. Young kids are reading this.
Well, yeah, but aren't there entire chapters in the Bible there about cities being laid to waste and stuff?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's for a good reason. I mean...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, sex. There's tons of sex in that, I'm sure. Secular book. It's got to be sex.
Actually, there's no sex whatsoever in the Harry Potter series.
All right, well, magic. Can't deny magic. Tons of magic. Devil and magic go hand in hand. I mean, come on.
What exactly do you call it that God does?
Miracles.
Right, so he says something and then something mysteriously happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Magic. That's magic, right?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? The world is going to end now.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
I have begun a new religion. Here is a pamphlet. Clearly states the path of enlightenment is worth $20 to me.
Why, that's completely within your right. Have a nice day.
It is often said that the tongue is the strongest muscle in the human body.
Flexible, yet firm, it is the rudder.
Just as a small spark can set the entire forest ablaze.
Just as a tiny key can unlock the largest of vaults.
So too is the tongue a key.
It is the key to all articulation.
Capable of delivering a person's most powerful convictions.
Don't let your voice go unheard.
This message is brought to you by the NAB Education Foundation, the Broadcast Education Association, McCormick Foundation, and this station.
Our forefathers fought to guarantee the right of religious freedom for all Americans.
The separation of church and state, as guaranteed in our Constitution, must be preserved.
Each day, men and women in our military are being denied this right.
How can we let this happen in the greatest nation in the world?
The Military Religious Freedom Foundation is leading the fight for justice for our noble and honorable soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, and veterans.
As we continue to fight in the courts, in the media, and in the minds and hearts of our fellow citizens, we need your support. Please donate to the Military Religious Freedom Foundation by going to militaryreligiousfreedom.org. Your generous tax-deductible pledge will help protect religious freedom in America.
I'm chasing twisters down alleys.
If you like what you see here, please donate to modernpagan.tv. Just go to our website, www.modernpagan.tv, and look for the donate button. We appreciate your contributions to keep modernpagan.tv on the air and on the internet. And now, back to live modernpagan.tv.
The wheel will turn, and the dark lady will come. Regardless of our wishes, though we may rail against it, it is as it should be. For every beginning, there is an end, and for every end, a new beginning. We are all the children of the creature of the night.
Always darkness, never light. Heed my warning, hear my plea. First instinct, should you see me, be to turn and flee from me. Creature of the night, lady of the night, who am I? What's my name? Creature of the night, lady of the night, who am I? What's my name? Well, you shoot for I am death, never again to draw mortal breath. I ask you, please don't go. I have so much to share with you. I have so much you need to know. Creature of the night, lady of the night, who am I? What's my name? Creature of the night, lady of the night, who am I? What's my name? Where is the light from above? Longing for the warmth of the sun. I must remain in the dark. Countless lessons to share to those that wish to care. Creature of the night, lady of the night, who am I? What's my name? Creature of the night, lady of the night, who am I? What's my name?
population grew, we forgot our heritage of peace, and the beliefs of the people grew diverse. We engaged in acts of self-indulgence, senseless destruction, and hatefulness to each other. And in so doing, we created a world where our children are ripped from the breasts of their mothers, and thus was born the broken child.
There is no rhyme or reason for this madness we see. The indifference for our fellow man, the animosity. Children live in a hell of our creation. War and hatred for each other creates a world of fear. This twisted sickness we've created is our legacy. Children live in a hell of our creation. No safe place to play for them. No place safe to learn. What will become of the children? Our future and our world. Children live in a hell of our creation. of our creation.
At the time of Samhain, known to the common world as Halloween, we celebrate the turning of the wheel to a new year. Samhain is a sacred time of remembrance and honor for those of our beloved ones who have passed on to the other side and are between the worlds. Part of the circle of life is death, but death is not an end. For those who have gone before are not gone forever. They are just on the other side, ready to start their next journey between the worlds.
And we dedicate this to Daniel for his daughter. Daniel Biss, this is for you.
Good rhythm too.
Yeah, really good. They have a gig coming up actually next week. Battle of the Bands. I'm going to have them talk about that.
That'd be great.
I know, absolutely, and it's one of the old-fashioned ones where the band groupies that make the most sound means the band gets the best prize. So we're going to have them talk about that because I think that's really cool. So, everybody, here's
Johnny.
Harpy! Yay! All right, woo!
Okay, very good.
Put my hair up a little because it's like really hot in here.
Yeah, I know.
You noticed
Well,
that.
you could have your corset on, you know.
Oh, I could have my tag. No.
Yeah, no.
That's
So
not
that's cooler. Yeah. So I want to talk about the drummer. One of the things, I know he's hiding back there in the back, but one of the things I always watch drummers for the little extra things that they do, like,
Twirling
the
is-
twirl. Yeah, and it's like, right on! That was cool. And then he just, tap, 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 tap. Oh, cool. So, all right.
So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and start?
And Barbara's still trying to put her hair up. I'm Barbara Doyle. I'm the lead singer.
We noticed that.
Yeah, we got that one.
She's hard to miss.
Yeah, right out there.
I'm Patricia McIntosh. I'm the bass player.
Yeah, that's cool. I love lady bass players. I mean, or what's politically correct?
Female bassist.
Female bass, because that's
Is it
just
politically correct?
just cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Femme bass. Femme bass. All right, femme bass. I love it.
But better.
Yeah.
Metropolis.
Astro bass.
I like Metropolis references. That's awesome.
Yeah.
My name is Mark Silver. Obviously, I was just on a little bit ago, but I do all the introductions for each of their songs. I wrote them all and performed them in concert.
Okay.
I'm Soren, lead guitar.
I'm Brandon. I'm the drummer.
I'm Greg Boyles. I play rhythm guitar and
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'm really having problems with my hair.
And actually, he's the undead at this point.
Yes,
Oh,
He
God.
just
There we go
recently
again.
had a heart attack.
Yeah, we've had one show
A
since
very
then.
major heart attack.
I didn't know
Oh
if
my
you heard about
God!
that.
No.
Did you hear that? It was May 8th.
Yeah.
We need
You
one
were
of your
doing-
things.
you
We
were-
need one of your healing thingies.
Cheap thing.
I don't have them yet.
We were doing a band practice, actually. The hair is just going to stand. We're doing a band practice, actually, and he just started feeling poorly all of a sudden. We went
Yeah.
outside, and there was still snow up in the mountains,
Yeah,
so he's
yeah.
out there trying to cool off. And
Because you're up in Blackhawk, right?
yeah,
Yes.
and we decided to take him to emergency, and come to find out he was having a massive heart attack, and he actually died for like 2 minutes on the table. So we almost lost him.
So you want to talk about what you were feeling so people out there will not ignore
So the symptoms, yeah.
Oh, the symptoms or the white light? What are we talking
No,
about?
the symptoms.
Oh, the symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually both.
Pagans not allowed to see the white.
Do you want to sit in the front row?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
No, the symptoms were really odd for a heart attack. First of all, my blood pressure was not high. I mean, it was a little bit elevated, but it was not heart attack high. And I was having pain around my collarbone here. I wasn't super tight-chested or anything, but I was just having a hard time getting comfortable. It was like I just couldn't find a comfortable position,
You're really warm.
And I was real. I was What sweating time of the bullets. day was this?
Evening.
Early evening.
Yeah, I was outside. It was snowing and raining and sleeting, and I was sitting out there without a shirt, and without shoes, trying to cool off. It's I thought I was just super hot during breakfast. Because I asked Soren, I says, we rehearsed at his place. I says, is it hot in here? And he was like, no, not really. Maybe a little warm, you know. So I went outside, and the more I was outside, the hotter I got. And, you know, so anyway, neither here nor there.
We would have rushed him to Boulder, but there was
There's
a
a rock
rock
slide.
slide going down Boulder Canyon. So
great.
we ended up rushing him to University, which is like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And so all the way down the hill is fog and sleety and crazy, and I'm driving, and he's backseat driving in the right-hand side. And I'm like, shut up.
Because we weren't convinced that it was actually a
We
heart
really weren't that
attack.
convinced, but then we got on the freeway and started, you know, once we get down to I-70 and really started hitting it, she's like, this is probably going to be gross, poor people out there, but at
just
90 miles an hour going down the freeway, he's vomiting out the window.
Yeah,
So,
I was getting,
and
all it
he's
was
like-
was water, though.
It always was water. He's like, you need to slow down. And I said, you need to shut up. And she's like, step on it, step on it. And we get there, and within 15 minutes of getting there is when he died. So it was pretty scary.
It was,
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah, we call him
Yeah.
undead. He's our
that
zombie.
seems to
So
be
that's
my
our
new
joke with him. He's the undead.
Oh no, the zombie apocalypse, and it's right here on
right here in
MPTV.
So, but that's like, we learned a lot about how to deal with unusual relationships too. I think we're going to talk about that next
Yeah,
week. Is that
yeah, next week. Yeah.
it was hard because we're
Sex
we're a
toys, and rock and
triad.
roll.
We're a triad, and I pretty much got pushed out the door because she had already been said that she was his wife, and I said, "Well, he's my husband." He said, "She already has one," and they pushed me out the door.
The ER did.
The ER did.
Oh,
push
yeah,
me out the
yeah,
door. So
yeah,
it was really kind of hard to
Yeah,
deal with that. So,
yeah.
but now we're just looking at what we.
And then if you
taking
hadn't
care of
signed your
ourselves
HIPAA
better.
stuff in advance, then you don't get
Yeah.
in there anyway. Yeah.
So all of us quit smoking.
Well,
today, so we all quit smoking, and we changed our eating habits. So washing fat is like crazy. It's like licking
Well,
all
it's
the ladies and
trans
stuff.
fats.
No, it's
Saturated fats
everything.
have
It's-
nothing to do with heart disease, and I'll be more than happy to lecture on that because I lecture on that all the time.
Yeah. And he doesn't have high cholesterol.
I never did have. I was one of those
60% of
freak
people, 60%, this statistic, everybody, prove this one too. 60% of people who have heart attacks have normal cholesterol. Therefore, scientific, okay. Therefore, if cholesterol was the precursor to heart disease, why do fewer people who have heart disease have elevated
Because
cholesterol?
another factor, huh?
Yeah, that is, and it's called high fructose corn syrup, and you can watch that on YouTube. Sugar, the bitter truth. Actually, high fructose corn syrup and fructose is actually the cause of heart disease, not saturated fat. Never was, never will be.
I think wheat plays a role from.
It all depends. It all depends on your
Okay.
gut. Yeah, and that's the data from Campbell McBride in her book Gut and Psychology. Let's get back to the band. So the white light. So yeah, I mean, I have to
So we're
lecture
happy
on
to
that.
have him.
I have to lecture on that tomorrow anyway, so that's why I was promoting that. But
Awesome.
Absolutely.
all right, so white light. Yes, no.
Yeah, well, a little bit. When I thought I passed out. You know, that real comfortable feeling when you're like, oh, I'm comfortable, I'm going to go sleep now.
Sort of
You know
the
that
alpha
feeling?
state, the alpha state.
You know, I just basically, my eyes rolled back in my head. I remember this, and I went to what I thought was sleep. Apparently, according to these guys, it was not. And
eternal, almost.
Yes,
Yes.
and when I was in that state, I was in like a white, not a white room really, but a very brightly lit room, and it was like I could see silhouettes, but it wasn't a tunnel or any of that kind of stuff. And it was just a very comfortable place to be. I was like, yeah, I can hang out here for a while. And
How
then
about sounds, noises? Were there any?
I didn't get any of that, and if I did, I don't remember that. But anyway, so when I came back to, it took me a second to realize, whoa, where am I at? Who are all these people? Oh, I'm having a heart attack. Okay, all right, we're back. You know,
She had a different view of that whole time.
yeah, apparently. I was a little
Yeah, I
bit
had a
from
little
my
bit
side.
different view because they were actually doing chest compressions on him. And in the middle of chest compressions, he sits upright, bolt upright, which doesn't normally happen.
No, that doesn't. That's not one of the behaviors that people getting CPR usually do.
No.
Huh.
So
And I was in the waiting room yelling at the guard to let me in. No, I was being a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about.
Yeah,
the
let's
band.
talk about the band because I kind of said as you were coming in, I was kind of promoting the big battle of the bands coming up.
We're pretty
Everybody wants to
excited
go to
about
this.
it.
Yeah.
We're very excited about this because it's very unusual, one, for a pagan band to be invited to perform
Yeah,
at a
cool.
Battle of the Bands
Yeah.
that is for the mainstream
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
So we're going up against people that are doing like metal,
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like, we always get, wow, it's so nice to hear something different than screaming or screaming. I mean, but we're so different than anybody else that's going to be there. There's going to be 38 bands.
Oh,
And
holy mother.
we're one of
That's gonna go
38,
all day.
and it's going to go all day long. And what it's based on is decibels. So we need as many people in the crowd there cheering
Screaming
for us,
fans.
screaming, who
Yeah.
can scream really loud, being there, screaming, and that's how they determine the winner. So
Loud whistles are good.
yeah,
I'm all okay
anybody
with
can
that.
whistle and scream and holler. And the thing is, it's actually a really cool deal because there's going to be a lot. It's all these local bands from Denver that are going to be there. There's going to be 2 headliners coming in.
Out of
Well,
Florida.
this is from Denver, from Boulder, pretty much
So,
all over the
front
state,
range or
all
something.
across the state.
And it's cheap to get in. I mean, for all the music
Well,
you're
it's
going to be hearing.
$20 at the
Yeah.
door, which is pretty cheap. But we have tickets.
Ah.
we have
$10.
tickets
I know.
for $10.
$10.
And the more tickets that we sell, the better spot we get. It's at the Gothic Theater. This is huge. We have performed at
Now
the
give them
Gothic.
the address so everybody knows, in case they don't know where
Anybody
the
know the
Gothic
address
is.
of the Gothic?
3,000, roughly 3,000 south.
Broadway.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, just north of Hampton.
Yeah.
It's an incredible
On the
venue to play.
west side of the
We played
street.
there. It was awesome. It's fun.
Yeah.
So we're excited about it.
To get tickets from us, you can contact me or any of the members of the band.
Yeah.
And
Right.
You'll find a
We
link.
have
Contact
websites.
any of us at heartbeatband.com.
And we'll,
On our
we'll be
Facebook.
On our
happy to deliver
Facebook.
it
Yes,
to
we
you
have,
wherever
and
the
your
kids are.
MySpace page, and
No,
there's
usually
another one.
Facebook. We don't. We have a MySpace, but it kind of gets neglected because
Okay.
MySpace is kind of falling apart.
Okay.
So Facebook or just heartbeatband.com.
.com.
So
And you have another cool thing coming up, too.
we do.
Yeah, we're
On-
playing.
That's Twilight Residuals.
Come back.
Come back to the. We were supposed to this last Sunday play at Jam and Joe's
Right.
to do. It's for Fox TV, Fox 31 TV, but there was a mix-up somehow because we were scheduled to go, and then Greg had his heart attack, and then they rebooked us, but someone forgot to write it in, so we get there Sunday and it didn't happen. But it's been changed to July 8th. We're not sure of the time yet. And so that would be the show after the June 30th. And then what's going to happen after this? This is going to be the last 2 shows people are going to see us in for a while because the band has decided, not only for health issues, but we want to write some music and we want to get some new stuff out there. We do some recording and put CDs out. And to be honest, it's financially getting hard
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if people don't come in the door and pay the $7, $8 to come see you, then you don't get paid.
Right,
So we're putting
right.
out a lot of money for gas. And we come from Blackhawk, so that's a lot for us to drag our trailer out.
Let me add something to that real quick. And people like, this wonderful studio, all these people here are volunteers, all right?
Nobody gets paid.
This place, it costs money to keep the lights
Oh, yeah.
going and the electricity and the heat and on and on and on. Even, I saw them walking in with a case of water earlier. Somebody had to pay for that out of their pocket, And I really feel like it's time that folks, pagan or not, just stand up and give $1 for goodness sake. Support what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but I just feel
We do the music for the love of it, but it's hard to pay
Yeah.
for the gas
Yeah,
prices to get to the
Yeah,
venues.
so for people who are not in Colorado, so if people are listening out of state or in other countries, explain Blackhawk and where the studio is.
Where it took us, how about an hour and
Hour and a
a
half.
half to get here.
Down the mountains.
Down the mountain, we have to come down the mountain.
Yeah.
Towing a big trailer full of gear.
Yeah.
It is way hotter down here than it is up here.
Oh, well, the mountains are always cool.
Yeah, that's why we live there.
Well, the studio lights make it fun.
But we do want to, we have been, I think it's been confirmed, so can I say that we have been invited to play at Beltania next year for
Yes.
2013?
Yeah, it has
So
been
we will
confirmed.
be at Beltania.
Being as I'm the new Beltania music director.
Okay.
That helps.
So we're really excited about
So
that.
I've
It's
talked
been a
to Joy
couple
about
years
that
since we've been
already.
able to
Alright.
play there.
So the 30th and July 8th. So the 30th, y'all come, support the band, scream, applaud, jump up and down,
Scream.
Strip, yeah, Scream, yeah, okay.
I-
More
I-
of that, Strip, yeah.
I would
okay.
suggest that unless it's, they're probably not that happy.
But if
Probably
somebody,
not. It is a
if somebody
gathering.
takes their top off, the audience may cheer for them. and
Okay,
they
guys.
think it's-
Thinking that.
There you
actually.
go.
Yeah, see, there's.
All
there's-
Scream?
Yeah, there we go, all right. And then July 8th
In July 8th.
for Fox.
Jam and Jokes.
So,
Gavin and Joe's, and that's free, and it's all ages. Well, the one at the Gothic is all ages.
Yeah.
And
And we-
it's for families. It's all day long.
Yeah, and we're going to be playing out more than just these two dates
We
between
just
now
have
and
these
Beltania.
scheduled.
But we just have to make sure that financially that we're covered
Yeah,
at
sure.
least for our fuel, for goodness
Yeah,
sake. you know.
yeah, absolutely.
We've been invited to out of state. We just can't get there right
Yeah,
now.
you know, people at different pagan events. Well, will you come and play? Well, sure. It's going to cost you this. Well, we're a nonprofit.
Yeah, well,
Okay, I'm sorry.
more so than usual, yeah. I
Right.
understand
And
that.
we're still trying to get money up because we've been invited to Australia. We
I
talked about that
know,
last
I
time. They're
know,
still
we
waiting for
did.
us to be able to come up with the very large amount of money.
Yeah.
So if there's a sponsor out there who would like us to, to help us get there, that'd be really awesome. Because Spiral Dance is so excited about us coming out, and
Absolutely.
Wendy Roll,
Absolutely.
and Wendy's
And I can
here
see
this
that.
weekend.
I know.
So she's awesome.
And we are looking for sponsors, individuals, corporations,
And they can
anything
find
that
you-
we can find.
Find your webpage.
Yep.
They
Find
can all
you on
find her.
Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well,
I'll be doing a few things too between now and Beltania. I'll be emceeing the Witches Ball.
cool. All right.
I already talked to Joy on that. I'll also be emceeing at the Mile High Horror Film Festival.
Oh, how fun! All right. All right. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm ready for some more music. How about that? So, what do you think? More music?
Got some more music.
More music.
We have
So,
more
all
music.
right, let's have some more
Really quick
music.
thing, I told my sister.
All right,
because
let's
she's
do it.
been-
All right, your sister.
I'm supposed to say hi to my sister Terry. Hi, glad to hear you.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Savannah. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dwight. So, and we'll see you in a couple days. So we're heading out there.
All right.
Love
So-
you guys.
So head back and so woo! All right. So Battle of the Bands. How fun is that?
All
I
day
think it's
and
all
night.
day. My God, for $20 at the door, all day Battle of the Bands. I
That's a
mean,
lot of
that's a
All
lot of
the
music.
music lovers will be there.
Yeah, yeah. And I personally would like to see everybody turn out for a pagan band, up against Main Street. That would be so awesome. I mean, that
I
would
think
be
that
really
they have a good chance simply because they have different music than everyone else.
Yeah.
And that'll be recognized.
Yeah.
Stand
Sure.
out.
Yeah, they'll stand out.
Yeah. So too bad they can't come play at the conference. That would rock everybody, wouldn't it?
I don't think this conference is ready for a rock.
Oh, you don't think those PhDs think they're too stuffy?
They are stuff.
They are. Oh, I know. Yeah. Fuddy. That's why they call them fuddies. PhDs, fuddies. Yeah. All right. Whoa. Sounds like we got some band going. All right. Take it away. Heartbeat.
There are many puzzles in life, but for the question of love, I have found my answer. You.
My feet carry me to you, and to you is where I want to be. You are the only one for
of ageless depth. Experience out of your ken. Do not stare too hard. You may collapse in fear. Never try to understand, for you will never know what lies within the heart of the dragon.
This last song is the one that you chose, so this is for Laura.
In times long ago, but not forgotten, the people celebrated the gods and the goddesses by raising their voices in chant with a renewed merriment an acknowledgement of those times. We have redesigned them to fit with those in this time and place. And so together we raise our voices in the goddess chant.
Brandon's good. Stand up, Randy.
All right, there we go. June 30th at the Gothic, just north of Camden on Broadway. Be there.
Yes.
Yeah, vote for him.
Jam and Joe's on July 8th. Well, that's
July
July 8th.
8th. Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta be there too. Woo!
We love everybody. Thank you.
Everybody. Thanks.
Thanks for watching Modern Pagan TV. We'll be back at the same time and the same place next week with more. If you like what you see here, please go to our website, www.modernpagan.tv, and contribute generously. And don't forget to tell all your friends about Modern Pagan TV. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and visit our site regularly. We'll see you next week with more Modern Pagan TV. To all people of all spiritual beliefs, we say good night, namaste, and blessed be.